Welcome to the Yeah Buddy Experience podcast. If you're looking for a podcast to motivate you and get you on track to overcoming obstacles and challenges, this podcast is definitely for you. Get ready for powerful and inspirational goodness, brought to you by your hosts, Mike and Johnny.
Yeah, buddy!
And we're back again, the Yeah Buddy Experience podcast. I'm Mike, and we've got Eugene on camera today once again. And we're going to be waiting for Johnny to kick in. Eugene, how you doing?
I'm good. It's like, studio's closed, so why not do the second best situation we have? So yeah, here we are.
Back on Zoom sessions. And today we're quite fortunate to have Big C, Mr. C, Corin.
How you doing, sir? How you doing? You okay? How's everyone today?
Not too bad.
Good.
For me, it's a pleasure to have you on spot. I watch your stuff on socials, on Instagram, and it's actually cool to actually have you on the podcast. So I'll let you introduce yourself, big man.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? My name's Corin, aka Big C. I'm a boxing coach / personal trainer, and I'm based in Slough.
Cool. Nice, man. How you coping throughout this lockdown? Because, man, I'm struggling.
Yeah, just like most personal trainers and coaches, it's gyms are closed, so it's a real struggle. I'm an independent coach as well as an amateur coach. So my amateur club is closed, which is terrible because we've got a lot of young fighters on the age of like 15, 16, and if they get away now, they might not get back in, if you know what I mean. And in terms of just my personal training, there's not much you can do because the gyms are closed. I train out of my gym. Now the gyms are closed, especially with the weather. Nobody really wants to train in the rain, but there's not much really you can do. But I'm struggling. Highs and lows is what it is. But I'm branching online and I'm making it work. I'm making it work.
No, I definitely get that. Because for me, I'm struggling myself. As we had a little interim conversation before even getting a podcast, and it's a tough time, man. In regards to this whole COVID thing, what's your thoughts? And I say that because on a number of the podcasts that we had, episodes, we've had some outlandish conversation in regards of the pandemic, the vaccine, all types of conversations. And it'd be nice to hear your thoughts on the current state of play.
Well, yeah, it is a big thing at the moment. My childhood next door neighbor, his father just passed away from it. The whole house has got it next door to my mum. So it is a real thing, but I think a lot of the media and, you get lost in social media as well. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So it's like some is true, some is not true. What do you do? I think you just respect people's, distances and opinions and just keep yourself safe and, just follow the rules the best you can. But I try and just don't delve too much into the news, and so I just try and keep myself safe, keep my system cleansed. I haven't got no symptoms. I'm okay. And that's about it, really.
No, I get that. So you messaged in the group saying that you in isolation at present?
Yeah. Like, because I live with my parents. My mom got the Rona, tested positive. So yeah, everyone in the household is on isolation. But it's like the second day, so it's just a start, but yeah, we'll see for the next, I think 9 or 8 days. So
talk to you in 9 days. You ripping your hair out.
I'll like grow more hair, and I'll be like, oh, okay. Be like,
But then how does that work? So say, as you said, your mother's got it. Everyone's going to be in isolation in the house. You're going to come in contact with your mum throughout the day, and then that'll be passed to all the other people in the house. So or is it like isolation where she's not allowed out of the room? It's very much you knock on the door. How does that work?
Oh yeah, like my mom's like she's staying in her room.
Okay.
But so the spread doesn't go out. And then just like giving her essentials that she needs, like food and stuff like that. Just put on the floor, then knock on the door, and then she gets it, and just work it like that. Really work it around. Because we took like these because my mom works in the hospital, so like she got like I think they're antibody tests. So it like kind of tells you if you have it. I'm not too sure how these like tests works, but I know for sure like the rest of us in the household doesn't have the corona.
Okay.
So yeah, we just hoping, you know,
All's good.
just hoping, yeah, it's all good. But yeah,
You'll be all right, mate. You'll be fine.
I know. It's
Well,
like
we'll
the
see
second
soon,
day.
won't
So,
we?
huh?
Next podcast, you'll be coughing and stuff. I have to cover the screen. All over the place.
Probably,
But
yeah.
okay. One of these things with the COVID thing, yeah, they say, you know, I'm not saying it isn't real. Of course, it's real. Okay, there's definitely something going out there. But if it's like you need to, you know, say you got it, and they say all you got to do is stay in your house for 10 days and it goes away, unless you got underlying issues, then really, like, I know, you know, people are going a bit over the top, I think. But what I was talking to my missus earlier, I was saying, what a lot of people are dying from is because they have underlying issues.
Yeah.
So why don't people try and just address them underlying issues before they get the COVID? So say if you had diabetes or high blood pressure, do things to lower your high blood pressure, do things to reduce your blood sugar. And then if you did get COVID, you've got a fighting chance, because I think the survival rate's like over 90%. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not scared. Like, you know, oh, this COVID. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself healthy. A lot of people don't cleanse their system. A lot of people don't drink water. A lot of people don't eat the correct food. So instead of trying to correct their health, they just want some medicine. They want a vaccine. Like, okay.
But then that's just how it works. So we live in a society where it's not about solving the main issue, it's to get you by. So that's why you get on the medication. It kind of helps with something, but doesn't help the overall picture. And that's why we have obesity issues, we have diabetes, and we have people dying in numbers because they're not eating the right stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's a system though. I watched a documentary a couple of days back about the pharmaceutical industry. And that is such big business, man. When you're sitting there listening to some of the stories and that, they ain't trying to care for us. They ain't trying to look after us. It's very much we are. It's a rolling situation of just making money off people. That's all it is, man.
Ain't no one coming to save us, mate. No one's coming. You got to save yourself and just, you know, educate yourself. It's all knowledge, you know. If you know how to, you know, look after yourself and cleanse yourself and train and, you know, eat the right things, and you've got a fighting chance. If you don't give yourself a fighting chance, then, you know, what do you expect?
Yeah, no, it's strange, but I've got on my notepad, are you vegan or vegetarian?
Yes, sir. I'm plant-based. Yeah.
Plant-based.
I say I am plant-based. I'm like 95% plant-based because I'm a big, you know, I've got a big sweet tooth. So I still eat cakes every now and again, but I don't eat meat. I don't eat eggs. I don't drink milk. I used to eat all that. I used to have so much problems. I used to get all these issues with like my gut, and I never knew what they were. I never knew what you know, how to solve it. I tried to talk to my mum. Mum said take this and take that, and then they actually, when I used to work at the airport, there was a girl. Actually, I can't remember her name. I think it was Danielle. Danielle, her name was. She had some issues, and we used to stop talking. She told me she was a vegan. I said, "What's a vegan?" She said, "I don't eat meat." I said, "What do you mean you don't eat meat?" She's Caribbean like me. That's what you're talking about. I don't eat meat. We had conversations and stuff, and then, you know, she kind of just showed me things, and I think I went to a vegan conference, and she invited me to it. She was there. I took my missus, my friend, my kids, and from then I just tried being vegan for like a month. I lost a bit of weight. I was like, okay, cool, and then I went back to eating meat, and the problems returned. And then I can't remember what year it was. I think it's been about 7 years now. I think I just decided, so you know what, I'm just gonna, you know, I can't keep getting these issues, so I'm just gonna cut out all meat. And I remember it was on a Christmas in my old house. We lived in a flat before we lived where I live now. I cooked it was Christmas, a big joint of beef, a big chicken. It was nice. You know, I used to like my meat, and then I said that was it. I ain't eating no more meat. My missus like, what are you talking about? I said, nah, no more meat. And yeah, that was that. So I just literally cold turkeyed it, and at first it was quite difficult because I didn't really know what I could and couldn't eat. But since then, mate, I've been flying. I'm just as strong, maybe stronger than what I was before. I don't get any health issues. I used to have the worst hay fever. I mean, ridiculous. It was so bad. Everything you can think of that they give for hay fever, I've taken. I even got like lasers. You put lasers in your nose. I even got the lasers, and that didn't work. I changed my diet. I've had hay fever once in 7 years.
Wow.
One time, and it wasn't even that bad.
I say wow on that because I went through that for a period of time. So I've got gastritis and IBS issues.
Yeah,
I've had that for like, I don't know, 8-9 years. So back at the GPs all the time, referred to a dietitian. I've had a coloscopy, endoscopy.
Yeah, me
I
too.
was put
Me
on
too. Everything.
all the
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the work. And it's been like flare up after flare up. So then for a year, I went to a dietitian and recommended a FODMAP diet and
Okay.
also being a vegetarian for a year. So I did that. And that helped. The only issue I had is I didn't get enough protein. So I was struggling on the protein front. So I just felt like, because I'm trying to build muscle all the time, I'm trying to get fit to competitions and stuff, I need to be bigger in size. And I just felt I couldn't get enough protein. So for me, that was the only thing that stopped me from staying with either a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, or any diet where I'm off the meat. I just couldn't do it. But I might, after what you said there, it's been on my mind, especially I spoke to Shem.
Yeah.
And he's sorted me out with some like CMOS and stuff like that. And for me, that stuff
I think he sorted everyone out with CMOS. I think everyone's got CMOS. Yeah, he's a good guy.
But it's good. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And even the conversation we had about alkaline and stuff like that made me think, do more research. And I'm actually even looking at more vegetarian diets, plant-based diets and stuff like that. So I might pick your brains via WhatsApp.
Sure.
I want to see if I can add it into my diet and see if it makes a difference, because I'm having major issues at present.
I'll tell you what as well, a lot of people, when they join, if you want to go on a fitness journey or whatever, change your diet, whatever you want to do, a lot of people, what they do is, say tomorrow, I want to start my new diet. They start their new diet and they're eating old stuff on top of the new stuff on top of the old stuff.
Yeah.
You change the system. Once you clear yourself out, then you can start again. So I've got these pills, which I take, like a herbal cleanse pill. They're very, very powerful, and you can't leave the house because you will
flush out.
Yeah. So I take them, and I've also had a colonic irrigation, and that was quite good. So I flip flop between them. Like 1 year I'll have that, and then 1 year I'll have the pill, and that's a way of clearing out your guts, and then you introduce good foods and good bacteria. It's like changing it all in your car. You don't put oil on top of bad oil,
No, I definitely get it, because I had relations, and it made me laugh because I found it's one of those ones. I found the advert on Gumtree, paid the money. It was like a promotion offer. Rocked up at some kind of rundown shop down in the basement. Indian lady comes up to me. She goes, "Oh, you're here for this?" And I'm like, "All right, cool, no sweat." Gives me a towel, brings me into this room, and before I knew it, I was like, "Oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble."
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was in trouble, man. I was in trouble. And then she said, chatting to me like it's fine. I'm making all types of noises, as you know. And she said, chatting, "Oh, yeah, this is fine. This is okay." And I'm sitting there going, I can hear my insides just flying out left, right, and center. Yeah, but saying that, it did help afterwards. It did help, and for a couple of days.
I've got the girl that I use. She's I say the girl. I've used her one time. She's an elder lady. I think she's like Swedish. And she was, it's all herbal, so it wasn't a lot of times. Even she was telling me you can go on Groupon and all these things, but then people don't really go to them because it's just like they don't know what they're using. I had she put all sorts up me, like garlic, herbs, all this stuff, and she's sitting talking to me. It was going up wherever, and she was hitting my belly, slapping it, and so she's telling me where it's going at the time, and it just every time you can see it all come out. And then at the end, she was like, "Do you want some camel's milk?" I was like, "What?" Some camel's milk up there. I said, "All right." And then she put camel's milk up there. So it's gonna be like silk inside. I was like, "Okay." But she's a very good woman. She's very knowledgeable, very herbal. But yeah, that was last year sometime. Nice. So anything like that is good to clear your system out, and then you start training because it all helps.
Johnny, you joined us?
Yeah, mate.
Hello,
How's
sir.
it all right?
Yeah, not bad. We heard you were having trouble with the MacBook. What's going on?
No, I'm vexed, bro. I'm vexed.
This isn't good, Johnny, man.
Mate. I'm sweating. I'm warm. We were trying to think who's been in the house. There's no one. It's lockdown. There's no one been in the house. I took it to my mum's, my foster mum, last week, and it must be there. Jules is telling me I've left it on the roof of the car. I'm like, it's a MacBook. I'm not putting the Mac on the roof of the car. It's in this house. I've gone to check my iPhone, and it's gone from Find My Mac. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's gone. So
Shit.
we're now like, who's been in the house? It's fallen down the back of my bedside table in the actual unit itself, an IKEA cabinet. So it's not behind it. It's literally it under the drawer that pulls out.
Okay.
It's managed to slide itself under there. So then I'm getting vexed because I'm late for you lot. You lot have started without me. I'm like, this is, do you know what I mean? Corin should be the late one, man.
You're going on for a second. I thought you got robbed. I was like, wow, this is some serious.
That's what I was going to say. And put someone in the house.
That could never happen.
I'm like, no.
That would never happen. If someone robbed my back, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, in the house. No problem. No worries. In the house.
What's going on? Where are we? How is everyone? Eugene?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good. Just
Surviving.
This, ish a bit. Yeah.
Brownies. What's that?
It is what it is. To be honest.
Is that red, white wine you're drinking?
It's rosé with tonic water.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I got water this time. I listened back to the stuff we had that last hour of the podcast. Yeah, I was on some serious chat, so I can't get on the alcohol again.
Just oh yeah, man. Eugene, you can make that comedic, but where are we? Catch me up.
We're talking about the vegan diet.
Just talk about diets and health and fitness and clearing out your system, because a lot of people.
You're chatting. Is that the Yatumbi? Yatumbi, is that right?
Yatumbi, the Yatumbi cleanse pill, yes, which I do have. They're quite good. And talking about caloric irrigations, because Michael was saying he had similar issues to me. Like I even went for an IBS test, and they said it didn't have IBS, but I thought it was. So we're just talking about like our guts and stuff. But yeah,
I think hopefully this doesn't happen to be, but my mum, my real mum, if she's listening to this, don't listen to another one. But anyway, she's got a problem with her belly, and I don't know what it's called. It might be IBS, but sometimes it looks like she's pregnant. And she gets really, really bloated. I don't know but she's to and from the hospital, and seemingly they haven't really been able to sort it out for her, but she's on all sorts of antibiotics and pills and stuff. But I'm thinking, like, how do you pronounce it, mate? Yatumbi?
Yatumbi. That's ATUNBI. Yatumbi.
Yeah. So that's a herbal remedy, is it?
Yeah, it's a herbal pill. It's got like, I think made up of like four or five herbs. You take it and it just it cleanses you out, my friend. Cleanses you out. So it's just
I'm thinking, why is it with all of these holistic medicines and remedies for people? I was just thinking, with everything that's going on at the minute, I said to one of my guys last night, I haven't I can't recall personally, I'm not saying that the government haven't done this, but I can't recall personally seeing any political statement on any channel where they're telling you vitamin C, be healthy, fresh air, water, all that sort of good
stuff. The gyms.
Open the gyms, yeah.
I don't know. I've not seen anything like that, because I had a conversation about that with my grandmother the other day about vitamin D, vitamin C, and actually just exercise and stuff like that. But there's nothing on the news, man. They're shutting down, as you said, the gyms, the places where you're going to get some sort of activity. You're not really allowed to go out. The police are locking down on that stuff. So I don't know. It goes back into conspiracy again, no? Back into another episode once again, man.
I mean, Corin, I don't know if you shared your thoughts on everything, but
a little bit. But in terms of, I'm not into this conspiracy. It is what it is. These things that happen is not conspiracy for me. It is what it is. Like I said, the government not telling us. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. Not telling us, guys, cleanse your system, guys. You only allow that for 1 hour exercise. Okay, most people don't do any exercise. You've got kids and stuff. Like going for a walk and that for your kids, you can't, especially in this weather. Who's going to go out and walk for in an hour in the rain? Not many people. So they're not really giving you guidelines in terms of how to better your health. It's just vaccination. If you don't take the vaccination, you can't come in the shop. You can't go on the airplane. It's like, okay, but what about, what can I do to boost my immune system naturally? They're not telling you. So not unfortunately, but we have to take it upon ourselves. We've got to take some personal responsibility. So this is a good time for people to update the knowledge on fitness and health and nutrition, and it's, you know, it's a blessing in disguise, I could say. You could say.
Yeah.
No, agreed. I think there's a massive opportunity for like-minded people, personal trainers, nutritionists, and people of that nature to really push home the information that's going to help keep you strong, you know? Because as you can see, I watch the news here and I listen to LBC throughout it again. I'm advertising LBC all the time. But
I listen to that a lot, obviously. I listen to it.
Yeah, man, it's good, man. It's good because for me, I like listening to it because it's listening to the people that call in is the important one. Because for me, I sit down and I said to Johnny on a few other podcasts, him and Eugene, I've not really seen racism, you know, growing up. I'm from urban London, you know, all the guys I know from different nationalities. You listen to that show and then you read the comments on Facebook and you're like, wow, these people got some outlandish views on Black people, Asian people, Muslim people. And you're kind of going, are these people out there? And they are out there. And that's what it shows me every time I listen to that.
Yeah.
Well, talking about LBC, a lot of the people he's talking about the racist views. A lot of them are the presenters themselves. Some of these presenters, I'm telling you, man, they're just. I listen to all of them. Like I used to Harley Nina, it's a Harley Brewer. She's gone to talk radio now. I used to like her, and she challenged. She's like you know, she'll come with evidence and stuff. She's quite balanced. But there's some of the guys on there like Nick Ferrari. You know.
Oh, he's bad, man. He's bad. Well, see, there's two that I like, which is Majid.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah, Majid seems quite good. And then also, what's the guy? James O'Brien.
Yeah. He's good.
I like his kind of his challengingness of the Conservative Party, Boris Johnson, stuff like that. But yeah, as you said, there's a lot. Ferrari or whatever his name is, the guy who comes on at 9. Yeah. He's terrible, man. He's terrible, especially the Black Lives Matter stuff. I was kind of going, wow, and you're on radio saying this shit.
Yeah, and then there's a guy, because I go in the gym in the morning, and so there's Steve Allen, This guy, he doesn't have any guests on. He just talks about people. I had to turn him off because there's nothing, you don't learn nothing. He just tells this person's this person's that. I'm like, okay, but you know, what am I learning? He just badmouths a lot of people. But I think it's entertainment, isn't it? A lot of these guys, they vent and they get their views. Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Well, I said it the other week. I mean, I don't listen to the news anymore. I don't watch the news anymore. Because it's just another TV channel. From Michael's just referred to Black Lives Matter there. Yeah. What I am seeing, the bits that I pick up on, is the way that racism's now being used as kind of a tool just to get a one-upmanship by each political party or each conglomerate or organization that wants to reach out to make it seem like they're doing something for us. But then when it actually comes to it, nobody's doing nothing for us. And you just go around in a repetitive cycle again. And it's all just talk. And I mean, the talk radio, just talking. Yeah, it's crazy. But I just, we've got you on the pod, Corin.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're massively into your boxing and everything else. But before we get to that, because one of the ideals of the show, the podcast, is positive and uplifting and stories about people's journeys and where we've come from, what we aim to achieve and where we're going. And I found with you, it was fairly interesting because I think you've already got a connection with Michael through people that you know externally. And I think that started off primarily at the airport, because you used to work at Heathrow Airport, didn't you?
Yeah, so I used to be one of them guys that take your liquids off you. So if you had a yogurt that was 110 millimeters, I take off and throw it in the bin. I was one of them guys, so we used to get a lot of abuse. So I was security at the airport. I was there for like mate, I tell you, I got stories for days. I was there for 11 years. I started in 2007 and I left 2 years ago.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. Initially, I'll tell you what initially before that, I used to work in the Royal Mail, HWDC Centre, mail sorter. So I was I left there because I was doing a sports massage course. This is 2006. I did a sports massage course. I was doing night shifts at the time. So at that time, it was like 10 to 6, Monday to Friday. I was like 21. I didn't really have much of a social life at that time. So, but the money was coming in. So at 21, I was doing 10 to 6. The night shifts were killing me. And in Christmas time, it was 6 to 6 Christmas pressure. And I was doing my studying. So I passed my course, my massage course. So I'm a qualified masseuse, but it's been so long, I don't even say I'm a qualified masseuse. I don't use it. Anyway, so I wanted to do the sports massage course, and the management, I wanted to go into early, so I didn't want to do nights. So the management didn't give it to me. So I was like, cool. I'm gonna have to try and find another job where I can work around my studies. So I applied at the airport. Got to the airport. It was more money, but it was shift work. So it was nights, earlies, lates. So I didn't really get a chance to carry on my studies. I just got in and started working. So initially, the first couple of years working there was great. It was getting, my first pay packet was like, I think £1,700. And I was like, bloody hell, like, I'm 20, 21, 22. No, sorry, I was 23 when I left there. And I was like, 1,700 quid. I had no kids, just me, my missus, and, early stages. I was getting, we going on holidays. I remember one year, the first of 2009, I think like a year and a half into working there, I went to Dubai, I went to Paris, first class, I went to New York. I was going in, I was like, whoa, all this money, like, laughing. But then, after a while, and I guess this with everything, after a while, it just slowly breaks you down. You get in and it just breaks you down. So I was doing nights and I was doing lates and I was doing earlies, all mixed up my
equilibrium.
Everything, mixed up my everything, yeah. So, and that was another thing. I was getting all these problems as well, like my digestive system and stuff. So it came to a point where I could go into early. So I went onto the early shifts. I've been an early bird for years now. So out of the 11 years, I think I did earlies for like 9.5, almost 10 years. So I went through that. I was working, doing shift work, and then had my first child at 27. So like 3-4 years in, I'm my first child. So doing shift work, and then I don't know, maybe I just started thinking, do I really want to be here long term? Because you work with a lot of people older than you, like they were 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. So the conversations weren't, always girls, football, going out clubbing. It was, what are you going to do when you get older? These kind of questions, pensions. And, I was like 23, 24, 25. So having these conversations, and then I had my second child, and then around the time of my first child, actually going back a bit, around the time of my first child, I used to play football a lot. I used to really, really love football. I still do love football. I ain't played for years. I had a bad injury when I was younger, but I carried on playing, and then it got to a point where I couldn't play anymore. I've had 4 operations on my knee, but I wanted to still keep fit, keep training. So I took up boxing around the time my son was born, so about 26, 27. So I just had the boxing, and then as I was getting more and more disheartened with the work, disheartened with the job, I was still training. So it kind of just helped me get through. So then what I did do was I went to university in Birkbeck in London, and I was chatting to a few guys in there, and they were saying, why don't you try and study? Because I was telling them, no, I'm sick of this place, I'm going to leave, I'm going to walk out. If you talk to stations of them, I said, I'm walking out now, I'm leaving. No, Corin, don't go. They have to pull me in. I was literally going to walk out. And then, so I was chatting to a couple of older colleagues, and they were saying, why don't you try and do a course or something, or just keep your mind active? I was like, okay, cool. So I did a criminology course at Birkbeck. So I done the first year, but then I had my second child, so then I couldn't finish my course. I done the first year. It was a 3-year course. I couldn't do the other 2 years because what I had to do was, I was a 5 o'clock shift, 5 in the morning, yeah. So that means I had to be at work at 5. So I had to be up at like 3:30, be in the car park for about 4:15 to get the bus to get there before 5. But when I was doing Birkbeck Wednesday, so it's 6 till 9. So I finish at 5 till 2. I'll get home, and then see my little man, chill, do our missus are pregnant, see my little man, get home, get changed, go straight to Birkbeck Uni on the Piccadilly line, straight from Heathrow to Piccadilly, about 45 minutes to a 50-minute journey. After that, didn't get into like 11:30, 12, whatever, and then I had to be at work at 5 o'clock, be up at 3. So all these things were just getting a bit too much. So I didn't do it, I didn't finish it, and I just carried on working. So once I was in a section called campus security, which deals with like the cargo and not the passengers. So the airline staff, so the pilots, the stewardesses, we deal with them. We search their bags and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I bet you
I
found
got
some
bored of that
interesting
section.
stuff in there.
Oh mate, boy, I tell you, we so much stuff.
My stepdad used to work at Heathrow. He's retired now.
Okay, cool.
It's a big old place, but Nigel Gable, do you know him?
Probably not. Maybe. What section did he work in?
He's a security, so he looked like Clint Eastwood. He used to have a green jacket, green blazer. He looks like Clint Eastwood.
Maybe.
Clint, it's his nickname.
Yeah, maybe.
But he used to come back. I remember he's still got it now because it's on the kitchen wall, but it's like an old African weapon. So it's like
wicked.
You have like a small ball on one end, and then it's just wood that's carved like that, and it has a bigger one on the other end. So it's kind of like a club type of thing. But he confiscated it from passenger when they were coming through security.
Yeah.
But he used to come back with all sorts of stuff, whether he was supposed to or not, I don't know. But surely you've come across some
exactly. We are, mate. We found all sorts of stuff. I found like all sorts of sexual aids. I found like one woman. She came through and I think she was like escorting someone. And someone found a little bit of weed. I mean, when I say a little bit, there was a tiny little bud. But one of the officers, she wanted to be like, you know, the hero of the day. Oh, look, I found a bit of weed. She's a supervisor now. She got promoted, but over finding a little bit of weed. It gets some people wanting to just make themselves heroes. Well, we get arguments. I met a lot of famous people as well coming through. I met like President of Antigua. When my dad was alive, I told him, I said, Dad, I met the President of Antigua. My dad's Antigua. He's like, okay, cool, I know him. He's like such and such. We found like money, people hiding alcohol, pilots coming through drunk, and you have to get them tested and they get kicked off the plane. A lot of stuff, a lot of stuff we found. But anyway, so I got bored of all that, to be honest with you, because, you know, you end up arguing with these guys, and because they think they're, you know, you got a suit and tie on, they think they can talk to you any way they want to talk to you. And I wasn't that kind of guy. I'd be like, listen, let's go outside, like, let's have a conversation, no problem. We'll go around the back. And it got quite heavy like that sometimes. But I just got bored of the section I was in. So I said, maybe I'll have a change of scenery and I'll go to the terminals and work with like, you know, the general public as opposed to working with airline stewardess and stuff. So then I was in campus for like 7 years. So then I went to, when T5 was opening, so I was at the airport a long time. There was no T5 when I started. So I was there from the build to what it is now. So I was, I moved over there. And then I was there for 4 years in T5. And initially, again, it was good because it was new, it was different. I enjoyed it. I made loads of friends. I met so many famous people, man. I met Nas, and you know, I'm a big hip hop fan. I met Nas. I was so excited and I was gassed. But then I see him, and then like his brother or whoever he's with, he's like, nah, no pictures. I was like, oh man, like, I didn't want to be seen to be chasing Nas down the runway, so I just let him go. But I was just happy to see him. So I was seeing famous people. I was like, yeah, this isn't too bad. But then like you start talking to people. Like again, there's a mixture of elder people there as well. So you still have these conversations. What do you want to do with your life? Blah 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 blah. So I was like, you know, I was still boxing at the time, but just, you know, not thinking anything of it, just training, just ticking over. So I still wanted to be active. So I stopped playing football and I didn't want to put on too much weight. I was quite big. I was like 18 stone, 17 and a half, 18 stone. And then towards like the end, the last 2-3 years was a real struggle. I mean, like waking up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning sometimes, to get to, because then I changed my shift. It was an earlier shift. It was 4:15. I had to be in the place at 4:15. So that means I have to be up at 2:30, leave my house at about 3 o'clock. If you miss the bus at 5 to 4, you have to get the 10 past bus and you'll be late. So it just, early shifts weren't really working for me. It just, everything was messing me up. But then I just carried on with the boxing. The boxing was good. The boxing was just ticking me over. So then I was talking to, I talked to the people there, and every time I saw a new person come, especially if they were young, because I thought I was still quite young at the time, but I was a bit older. I was like 20, 29, 30, 31, that age. When I see like a 20-year-old, 18-year-old coming, I was like, why are you coming there, man? Don't waste your time. This kind of work ain't for 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old. This is like an older job, you know? And I used to just start having these conversations with these young people, and then the conversations, I start having conversation with the older colleagues, because everyone's got issues, right? So I end up being like an agony uncle type person, and you know, but not even in like a I wanted to. I'm a conversational kind of person. So we have conversations, talking, and then a lot of them are saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. So why are you doing it then? I'll give them all these suggestions, you know, things to do, things not to do, maybe try this, maybe try that, try different sections. A lot of my friends in the place, they apply for jobs and they got better jobs within the section, or better jobs within the company, better paid jobs. And then I was seeing all these guys doing these things, and I'm thinking, like, you're not even happy here. Like, what are you doing, Corin? What are you doing? And then I used to tell people, I'm sick of this place, I'm going to leave. Exactly what I was telling them in my last section. And they were like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? I said, I don't know yet. I know I can't do this forever. And then we used to have these briefings, like once a year. These like, they try and make the workplace better every year. And then they'll tell you in the briefings, shift work shortens your life 5 to 10 years. They'll tell you it openly. I'm thinking, you're sitting there telling me you're killing me. Like, and
why is that? Because of the messing up your sleep cycles and all that sort of
shift work in general, say especially night shifts. So working shift work, it just takes away, that they didn't break the science now, but they just said shift work takes away 5 to 10 years of your life. I guess that's just through the working, not sleeping, not eating. You know, you're sleeping at 2, 3 in the daytime, and everyone's moving around. Hearing these things over and over, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be in this environment. Like, this really isn't for me. Like, what can I do? So I really didn't know what to do. So I was still training, just going through life. Everyone had issues, ups and downs, highs and lows. And then my dad got ill. My dad got sick, and he passed away. He's been dead about 5 years now. But he was sick at the time. He was sick. So I was just thinking, you know, my dad's, you know, he's not well. What do I do? And then I started getting into talking to people, and I was like, maybe I might just do a bit of maybe I'll do a bit of coaching, like boxing coaching. They were like, well, you can if you want, give it a go. So then I started it, but then I didn't carry it on because I was in Slough ABC at the time. So I was just training there, and in that setup, it's not really set up for young people just to come in and start coaching. So I just left it. I left that idea. So then I went to another gym, but where the gym I'm at now, I've been there almost 5 years now. So I started training there, and the person I trained with, he's one of my friend's uncle. So as I was going through my stresses and stuff, and you know, I literally, how I met him, actually, I knew him anyway, but how I met him, I bumped into him on the road, and I said, I knew who he was. I said, I know who you are. I'm hearing you're opening a boxing gym. I was wondering if I can come and train with you. And he was like, okay, when it opens, I'll let you know, such and such, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't really think nothing of it, so I didn't hear from him for a while.
Who's that? Who was that?
That was Lucky. So
okay.
Yeah, that's how I initially met Lucky. That's how I first met him.
This is sorry, mate, to interject. It's Lucky Richardson we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah. This is Lucky.
Yeah. So this is the Michael. If you remember, I think on one of the previous podcasts, this is the guy that I said my brother was trying to get me to go to boxing, and I always looked up to my brother, and then my brother came back, punched up one day, and I got going to boxing, and it was Lucky was the one that gave me a bit of a lesson.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So yeah, I met Lucky, and then but like I said, I didn't hear nothing of it. I knew one of my friends was trained with him, so he invited me to the club when it eventually opened, but that was a while after. So then I was working at the airport, doing what I was doing, and then there was an event, an Eric Thomas event. You guys familiar with Eric Thomas?
No.
The motivational hip hop speaker. You definitely have heard of him.
Actually, no, I do. I posted on it's on the Instagram. Yeah, I know who he is. American guy. Yeah, wears a cap, top man. Yeah. Anyway, he came to London. So I was talking to a bunch of guys in the airport because, you know, I used to give quite a lot of advice to these guys, and I said, look, let's go to this event and you see what, you know,
There you go. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the guy.
You want it as bad as you could breathe. That's the guy. I met him in real life, man. It was good. So anyway, went to an event. It was me, Anan, and a guy. I forgot his bloody name. It's gonna look bad when I'm looking back on this. His name will come to me. But 3 of us went to this event. So we went to the event, and then he was talking about, you know, if you're not happy with your life, change your life. If you ever see one of his like live seminars, he's really powerful, guys. Almost like, you know, it's like a Tony Robbins type person, you know. He's that kind of, he's really, really big. And then, like, I was sitting there writing down in a bit of paper, because at this time I was at the airport for almost 10 years, and I was like, I wrote in a bit of paper, I want to get 10 years at the airport, because I want to save my pension, 10 years at the airport, and then leave. So we had the live event. And it was a really good event. Like, everyone, you know, it was really engaging. You know, he said a lot of things, and I took on a lot of things. So then the next day I went to work thinking, yes, I'm going to be leaving. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait for 10 years and I'm going to figure something out. So then what happens was they were giving out redundancies. And I was like, oh, bloody hell. Like, you know, redundancies is perfect. So around there, like I said, my dad passed away roughly just before then. So when my dad passed away, I went to Antigua. So when I went to Antigua, I went to just clear my head. I went on holiday. I've never been to Antigua before in my life. I was 34, man. That was like 32. Never been to Antigua in my life. Don't really know that side too well, like in Antigua. Went over there, and I generally made a promise to myself. I was on the beach, sitting on the beach, just like sitting there. I said, I promised myself, I'm not going to be working for these people anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm just leaving. So anyway, I come back, and then I went to the event, and that, you know, reignited my fire. I'm definitely going to go. And then I come into work, and they were offering redundancies. Mate, it was like, I was like, this is meant to be. Like, all these things are aligned. And I was like, yes, so happy. So then I got on the phone to my cousin, because they were saying I was, you know, redundancy is about 25 grand or something. I was like, bloody hell. So I got on the phone to my cousin, who I just met in Antigua, good guy, family and that. And then I said, look, man, I'm getting some money, find some land for me. I want to, you know, buy some land, and making all these plans. I'm thinking, yes. And all this time I'm boxing as well, just training, ticking over. And then they turn around and they say, oh, you're not eligible.
Wow.
I was like that was a real kick in the gut, because I was so I was so gassed.
How so? Something to do with contracts because of the period that you joined?
No, it was just when they offered it, they were saying too many people applied. So there was one manager, I won't even say his name because at that time, but manager, he would say to me, he literally tell me, look me in my face, I've seen your name on the list, you're definitely getting it. So that's why I made the phone call to my cousin. I was like, yeah, cool. But then he'll go and tell other people that, oh, Corin's not getting it. So I was like, and the same people, because I talk to everyone. So I'll talk to the managers, the cleaners, whoever. You know, you would think I've known them forever. So they were telling me this guy is actually saying this. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was getting inside information. So I wasn't getting it. So that delayed me a whole year. So then I literally was depressed. I was down. I was stressed out. I was going through dramas with my missus, stuff at home. But I was still boxing. I was still training. So then we were talking about this earlier, Michael. So then I was training with Lucky then eventually, I went to, so that was happening, right? So eventually Lucky opened his little gym thing. So I turned up, my friend paid for my first session, and went in there, had a session with him. I just haven't left. So I carried on training, ticking over. So I was with Lucky for about a year and a bit. And then all this happened, my dad passed away, and they said, I ain't getting the money. And I said, you know what, coach? I said, get me a fight. I just want to fight. So I'm going through some stuff right now. Get me a fight. And he said, you sure? I said, yep, just get me a fight. So I just started training. I had my fight. I lost my fight, but I will send you the video because I believe I won. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I'll send it. I digress. I had the fight, and I felt almost like, you know, everything was out. You know, I let all my frustrations out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to definitely do something. So after the fight, I sat to my coach, because I didn't know, I wanted to fight again, but then I took up boxing quite late. So I had my fight, I was like 33, I believe I was.
Talk to us about the fight, man. Don't skip over this.
Oh, okay, no, okay, I won't skip over.
If you think you won,
100%.
How many rounds are we talking? Head guards? Where are we?
Yeah. So it was a amateur boxing. It was my first amateur fight. It was 3 rounds. It was in Guildford. The guy's name was Harry. Oh, what's his name? Harry something. Harry. I can't remember his name. Harry. I want a rematch, Harry. Don't rematch. Anyway, so we went in there, had the fight, and this is how I was. I wasn't even in the right space. I just wanted to fight. Before the fight, so my coach was there, Lucky was there, my sparring partner Suk was there, his brother, T, other coach was there, and Hassan, one of our young ones, who's our first champion. So at the time he wasn't, but he was there. So they all turned up. I turned up at the thing. I think I had a bowl of porridge in the morning. I went to the Guildford Luxury Centre, World Sports Centre. I went and got a bag of chips. I had a big bag of greasy chips, salt and vinegar. Just before my fight, I just eat it. I just wasn't. Now, if one of my fighters did that, he'd be getting cussed out. But,
yeah, big time.
Mate, when I'm going through, I just wanted to get in the fight. Anyway, so comes out, going to the ring, walking to the ring. I was like, oh, I felt good, man. I was feeling good, walked into the ring. First round, we go in first round. I knock him down in the first round. Knock him down hard. It was a good first round, so I won the first round 10-8. And then coach is telling me all sorts of stuff, but believe me, man, I wasn't in that space. Even looking back at the video now, I couldn't tell you what coach was telling me. I was just wanted to get out there and fight. Second round, it was a good round. Knocked out his gum shield. Referee picked up on the floor. It was a good round. I thought I won that round as well. And then I was tired going in. The third round goes again. Third round, I was absolutely nothing in the tank. I was just swinging, nothing in the tank. So I say he won the third round. But for me, it really wasn't about winning at a particular. I just wanted to get in the ring and let everything out. And I, in my eyes, I felt I did that. But I also felt I won the fight. And a lot of people thought I won the fight as well. The whole crowd was going crazy. It was like fight of the night. It was really good. I definitely will send you the video. But then they called it out. They were like, and then on unanimous decision. When they said unanimous decision, I was thinking, okay, I thought maybe a split decision because it was quite close, but I'll take it unanimous. In the blue corner, Harry, whatever, and I was like, what? I looked at him and he was so happy, he was elated. I was like, okay, cool, no worries. So I shook his hand, as you do, he shook his hand, whatever, and then we go into the back room. He's all taking pictures with me. Oh man, he was so happy today he won the fight. We were taking pictures, we were shaking hands, he was getting excited, it was all cool. And I was like, yeah, cool, rematch. He was like, yeah. And that was the last I heard from Harry. And then I, as a coach now, we see them on a regular. We see them on the Guildford, on the scene a lot. And I always say to them, they didn't give me my trophy, so I still need the trophy for them. And they say he left the gym straight after. So he ain't been back since. And that's been about 3 years. And I said, I want a rematch, but if I do come back, I'm ready to fight him.
He's on the run. That's what it is. He's on the run.
Beanie, mate.
Oh, mate, I tell you, it was a good fight. I'll definitely send it to you. It was a very good fight. It was enjoyable. I was happy to get all my stresses out. So flipping back into the story, once I had my fight, did all that, because then I wasn't getting no money. I wasn't getting my redundancy, which pissed me off. I was still going through some stuff for the missus. I was still going through. My dad passed away. I was still, when I went to Antigua, I met my brothers and sisters I'd never seen them in my life, ever. First time I met them. So there was a lot of things going around in my head. I was like, oh, what's all this stuff? And so then I was like, I said to and then coach suggested to me, he says, why don't you just do a little bit of coaching? So he suggested it to me in his gym. I said, okay, well, I'll give it a go because, I had the respect of the fighters in there. I trained with them. I went through the system. I've had a fight. I'm regular. I'm on the floor. I'm not there one day, not come up for 2 weeks. I'm there every week. Yeah. I said, okay, cool. So I did the course. So they put me on the course. I passed the course. So then now I'm a level 1 coach. So I'm thinking at least, okay, I can do a little bit of coaching and on the side. So our gym is in the basement of old buildings, like a 4-year building, like a YMCA shelter type place, yeah. So originally it wasn't there. We were in literally a shed. It was like a little shed. So then we moved into this where we are now. So when we moved into where we were, I started to do like a Sunday class, just a tick over class, Sunday class, just have a little something. So it was just once a week, and then it got quite big, and then it was I was able to do 2 sessions, like a ladies only session and then a mixed class. So I was doing that on the side, just a little. I wasn't making loads and loads of money. I was charging like £5 a session, nothing crazy. So I was doing whatever, ticking over, but still working. So I'll go training 7 till 9, and then I'll get home. I have to be up at 2 in the morning. So it was like burning a candle at both ends, because boxing training, as you know, Mike, it's you can't half do it. You have to really get in and do it. Yeah.
Was that boxing training you put me through in the summer?
Oh, that was a little bit, man. You got a flight.
No, that was a lot.
Was you actually running track, skipping?
My friend like held out after.
Yeah, he was coughing up.
And then I was paying for Corin's services, even though like paying for him, but like I thought I paid the money, so gonna get your money's worth out of it. But if it was a coach that I didn't know, I might have just gone. Because it was bad. It was really bad.
It was good. It was a good little session that day.
But that's where I got a lot of respect, because I from a football side of things, and from just going in the gym and the aesthetic side of it.
Yeah,
I'm used to all of that, but the boxing training just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's hard. I couldn't do it. It's hard.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Boxing is hard.
Different, man. And what I was learning as well, what I was going through, boxing was keeping me disciplined. But I didn't even know at the time, but I'll go train in, I'll make sure I get home and wake up on time, do what I'm doing, and I'm training, I'm trying to eat right, and then even when you get into the sparring, and I took it to the analogy, like I'm in the ring. Anyone who steps in the ring, you have to respect them.
Yeah, major respect.
It's a hard thing. Not many people do it, yeah? To step in the ring, then you're going to get smashed in the face by some guys. Not everyone's going to be nice, So I've been hit in the face plenty of time, but the way I was taking it, all my issues that I had, I'll take them in the ring and I'll stay and I'll face them. So I'll take that. My issues could have been a jab, could have been a backhand, but I just take that as problems with the missus, problems at home. My dad's gone. But if you get out of the ring, your problems are still going to be there. You got to stand and face them. So I took the analogy from boxing and put it into my life. So boxing really did save my life at that time. And even now, that's what I do for a living. So boxing saved my life. So what it was, so after that fight, go back to the work. After the fight, I wasn't getting the money, wasn't getting my 25K. So I was like, well, at least I can make a little bit of money on the side doing this boxing thing. We don't know where this goes. I'll just carry on doing it. So then I literally, the last year at the airport, I just like, I got to do something to try and keep me sane. So what I did do, I started like a partner hand. You guys know what a partner hand is? We're like,
yeah, I do.
So you put money in, isn't it?
Yeah. So when money comes in, so I started.
Sorry, Corin, do you want to explain for the listeners?
Yeah. So a partner hand, so technically, it's a group of people put in say £100, say 10 people put £100 into someone's into a pot every month, and one person out of that 10 get it every month. Do it by draw. It's just like it's a community thing. It's an old West Indian community wealth building thing, and I thought it'd be good for me to organise something just to keep me involved and not worry about the day-to-day rumblings going on with work and stuff. So I organised a partner hand. I had like 14 people. So every month, someone was getting like 1,300, 1,400 quid in their pocket. I felt quite good doing it. I was putting money in people's pocket, and I was saying to them, look, don't just spend it on this, invest it, do something with it, maybe pay something off or whatever. So I organised that. I was giving out books. I had I've got a stash of books downstairs on my little shelf. I was giving out books, almost like a book club. I was giving advice. I was taking some of the guys to my training, bringing them to the boxing gym, just showing them what I do. So I was doing stuff. I was doing other stuff, just positioning myself to what the next move is going to be, not be in the airport forever, And then going back a touch, Lucky, he used to work at the airport for 11 years as well, 10, 11 years. So when I used to talk to him about my grievances in the place, his story was exactly the same. He left the job because he was disenfranchised with it. He hated it. It got to him. So he left, he opened up a cleaning company, and he opened a boxing gym. So for me to have someone who's been through exactly what I went through as my boxing coach, as my boxing mentor, and also he's thriving in his business and he's got a gym. So I was thinking, it can be done. Like something, you ain't got to be here forever. Because the thing at the airport and what traps a lot of people, and there's a lot of people there now who are trapped, but you're getting $2.5, $3.5 grand a month. And you're not doing much. And I mean, really, you're not doing much. You come in, you tell people to put stuff in the bag, you search them, they go home, they go on their plane, they kick off, you call the manager. It's a very, very basic job, and it sucks people in, especially young people. If you're 21 years old getting $2.5 grand a month,
are you laughing?
For not doing much,
yeah,
you're just going to keep doing it. It's money, So for me, I was like, so for me, it was like, I'm not going to keep. I got back. I got back connection. Sorry, man. I got back connection.
Tracking you. Don't worry.
Locked out the screen.
Yeah.
More than likely Michael's chest, man. Not mine.
Yeah. So like, so basically, I just, I got bored of it, and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to just carry on training. I'll just do these little things, tick over, see what I can do. So I'm going to give it one more year. I'll give it one more year, and if nothing changes, I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to quit. And I was telling people this: how are you going to quit? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to do this? All the same issues anyone would have if they were about to quit their job. But in this meantime, in that year, I mended things with my missus. We got back. Everything was back on track. She fell pregnant. My family issues were resolved. I felt better in myself. I was training, so I had a baby to look forward to. So I had other, that kind of accelerated me to be like, you know what? If I don't do something now, like I'm just going to keep repeating the cycle. So I need to make sure I do something. So I carried on the coaching. I was coaching, and I was one of the classes. They got more and more popular. Whatever, you write one out. I walked in on December 29th, and then that was the day before, I had my little interviews and stuff. December 30th, I had an exit interview. I gave my my pass, everything. I just felt so elated to not have to do something I didn't want to do again for money.
Yeah, well, it's a weight off your shoulders, isn't it?
Oh man, it was ridiculous.
During that months period where you were doing your sickie, what sort of conversations, because this is a serious thing, this is a big thing.
Yeah.
Around 30s, and you're thinking everything's going to change now. So what sort of conversations were you having with your missus? Because obviously you've got kids, mortgages, rent, whatever.
Conversation. So with my missus, she was I've got to bring that in. So she was working. She'd been working for a company for 16 years. And in that time, while she was pregnant, she was on maternity leave, and then she got made redundant while she was on maternity leave. So she'd been there 16 years. So she got made redundant. I'm about to quit my job. So I'm about to put us in a situation where potentially we're going to be in a struggle. So, but I sat and had the conversation with her. So look, I can't keep doing something I've got no passion for, no love for. And to be honest with you, she was very, very supportive. And she said, if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to work there, then leave. You'll find something. You'll find your way. I know you'll find your way. You'll find something. But we were going back and forth. Like I was doubting myself. It's not just I'm going to quit. I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'll quit. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay these bills? Like, what am I going to do? Like, I had doubts. I had real big doubts, real deep conversations. I even had the conversation in a barbershop. I was in a barbershop. This was when my hair went so long, I was getting shape-ups and stuff. So I was in the barbershop, and it was a full house in there. I was saying to the guys, I was saying to Sim and D, like, you guys might not know, but Brownie knows, Sim and D, and I was like, look, man, like, they're offering me, they're saying if I wait, I can get, this is the first money they were going to give me that I was supposed to get. They offered me like 25 grand. Like, what should I do? Everyone in the barbershop, nah, you should stay, man, just stay. I said, well, I've got to wait another, another year and a half. I don't want to do it. Nah, stay. I was having these conversations with these guys because, when you're getting your hair cut, your barber's like your psychiatrist.
Your main man, your counselors, your support.
There you go, man. I was telling them all sorts. And he was seeing me like,
if a girl looks decent or not, it's your boy.
There you go. There you go. He was seeing me having these conversations, going up and down my moves, and you know, I was confiding in them, and they were like, you know, yeah, stay. And then anyway, I didn't end up staying. So what I did on the December 29th, I walked in. December 30th, I quit the job. December 31st, my son was born. He was due January the 12th, 2019. I said to myself, I'm not walking into 2019 working for the airport or anyone ever again. He was due to January the 12th. So I take my son's birth as, he's like, nope, daddy, I'm coming now. I'm not waiting. I'll come with you. So he was born on the last day of 2018. So I literally didn't even have a chance to adjust. I had to find a way. And yes, it was difficult. And it was a shock to the system. But 2 years later, mate, I'm alive and kicking. I'm on your podcast. I'm not struggling. I'm not starving. I'm in a house. I've even changed house, and we moved house into a bigger house. I've got my own company. I've got my own t-shirts, hoodies. I'm in a much better mental state. I enjoy what I do. I'm a better coach because in that time I became a level 2 coach because I was a level 1 first. Now I'm a level 2 coach, which means I can, if I wanted to, open a gym anywhere in the country. I've got clients. I've had classes. I went to Poland. I took our first international boxing fight in Poland last year. So I'm doing all the things I want to do. But if I didn't leave when I left, I could be still doing the things I don't want to do for money. And
no, I fully get that. I agree with that, and I like that because for me, it's very much of you just got to sometimes jump in, and if you don't jump in, you still be umming and ahhing, and then before you know it, the time's gone. It's 4 years, it's 5 years, it's 10 years, and you kind of go, shit, I should have made that jump. And for me, look, boxing's my life, man. I love boxing. Listening to you and your story, for me, that sounds just mad, and it sounds positive in terms of jumping into the unknown. And look, 2 years later, you're in a position where you're living good, you're happy, you seem like your mindset's where it needs to be. So for me, that's kind of what we stand for on the podcast anyway. It's about inspiration, motivation, and trying to develop oneself to be better than you were yesterday. So salute on that front, my friend.
Thank you, brother. And I used to tell the people I used to work with, and I said, look, all this, because society tells you success is money, success is fame. I say, look, long as you're happy, and that's your success. Find whatever you want, what makes you happy, and that's successful. I'm happy, and I'm successful when my kids are happy. When I see my kids, like with my first 2 children, due to work, I wasn't allowed to. Obviously I raised my children, but I wasn't around a lot. My little man now, I've been there every step of the way. I missed out on little things doing this. I'd rather do something I enjoy. I'd rather get paid less doing something I enjoy, and then I can build. And that's what it is right now. Up until COVID, obviously COVID shut down a lot of small businesses. If COVID didn't happen, I was making more money than while I was working at the airport. I'm working less hours, but I'm doing things I enjoy. I teach people how to box. I teach people how to defend themselves, and I get paid for it. I would do it for free, and I do.
Yeah, for me, no, it's one of those, because being a PT and being a PT for 10 years now.
Oh wow!
I made that jump. As soon as I was working at Virgin Active, and I decided that I couldn't have someone control my destiny. Let's take the clients I've got and then build from there. And for me, it's one of those things where you wake up and you make your day as it is. You sit down and you say, okay, I'm going to have 4 clients here. I can still do all the other things I want to do, but I can create my own diary. I create my own destiny. So for me, listening to what you said there, it just resonates. It resonates in my mind, because I wake up every morning, I'm quite thankful that I don't have someone saying to me, 9 o'clock, you've got to be here. It's very much of, if I want to be there today, I'm there today. If I'm not. So I think the moral of that is, do what makes you happy. Do that's going to allow you to grow as a person. And if it's not working for you, it's time to jump ship.
And also as well, just to let people know, it's not easy. Like, I'm not sitting there saying it's easy. It's not easy. There's been some days, man. I used to run classes. There's been days no one turned up. There's been days one person turned up. There's been days, like weeks, no one's turned up, but I'm still going because I've committed to this. I've committed to this journey. Like, and whatever happens at the end is going to be because I'm in charge of what happens, not because someone else told me what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather this. You know, in hindsight, maybe I would have took it earlier, but then they say, you know, nothing happens before its time. So it happened the way it's supposed to happen. And, you know, I'm thankful for it. You know, I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful to be able to train people. And even from the airport, I've had a lot of my clients have come from the airport. So
you've got a pool of people there, haven't you? You've got like a pool of people that we've got internal system there where you could just post posters on there, get clients.
And the thing is as well, a lot of them, I know how they feel because we've had these conversations, and I said, you come and smash, come with me, we train, come and smash some bags, we get it out, then we can talk about all that kind of stuff and let it all out. And I've been directly in their shoes, so I know exactly how they feel. When they talk about shifts, I'm tired and blah, blah, so I know exactly how you feel, man, exactly. And this is what I tell them, this is what I did to get out. And, you know, and now, unfortunately, because of COVID, the same company who said they, you know, I had to be there 15 years to get any money. Now they're throwing money at people. They're giving people 50, 60 grand payouts. They had no money the other day, but now they give them 50, 60 grand payouts. A lot of people
businesses work, man. That's how they work. But from the way you're coming across, you sound very much a community person as well. Yeah. So with the kids that are training in the boxing camp that you've got, I mean, you must see all sorts of kids come through. And I love that. It's that old, I mean, if I use an example, I think the epitome would be the Mike Tyson story, where they find this kid, he's full of anger, full of angst, doesn't know what direction he's going in, and then he finds boxing, and then kind of like the rest is history. Obviously, it might not be to that scale, but have you found anybody that you're guiding along kind of like in that general direction? Like, what advice do you give these kids on a daily basis, and like what events do you get them into? Because you said you went to Poland.
So our gym is there's not many boxing gyms in Slough. There's probably about 3, maybe 4. There's not many. Ours is the only black-owned boxing gym in Slough. So we've got a whole multicultural range of fighters, all sorts. So you get guys coming in who think they want to, you know, you get some bad boys coming here, want to fight. And when you show them a little bit of structure, sometimes they don't like the, you know, the initial, who's this guy telling me to do this and whatever. But then eventually you earn their respect because, you know, you see yourself in them, right? Yeah. So you sit and talk to them on their level and say, look, you know, I've been in your shoes. It is what it is. Just you respect me, I respect you. You respect boxing, boxing will respect you. I tell the youngsters as well, boxing's like a jealous girlfriend. If you dedicate yourself to boxing, it will reward you. Same like with a wife, it will reward you with everything. If you cheat on boxing, it will mess you up. Same thing, like, you know, in relationships. So I said, you dedicate yourself to this game, you can change your whole life. And I tell them my story, and then what I do, I show them my fight. They're like, oh, right, he's not just all talk. He has been in there. He knows what he's talking about. But we had our first champion, Hassan. He was a little tiny boy. You saw him. I've seen him develop from a little tiny boy to a guy who goes in there now, and he's, you know, he gives it, and, you know, you can see in his eyes he's got a bit of spite in him, and you can see how he's grown as a boxer and as a young man. He's like 17, 18 now. He's at college. He's extremely good. We've got a whole bunch of array of talent in that gym. And what we have done as well, we've worked with Haybrook College, which is for kids who've been excluded and, you know, from schools. And they come down and they, you know, even the teachers are saying, oh, this guy, he's very rude and he's this, he's that. End of the session, they're loving the session, they're sweating, they're enjoying it. And they come back and they keep trying and they keep getting better. And then some of them have actually come and joined the gym after. So it's a good place to have people to, especially young people, to let their anger out, let their energy out, because there's not much in our local community. There's not much at all. And
but it's just boxing gyms, isn't it? Boxing gyms are like that, where it's a bed for boys from the area, boys who've done bad things, and everyone kind of just gets on. You know, you can meet some guy who's come out of prison, you're training with him on the bag, and you and his brothers are friends, and you're kind of going, this is just weird. I would not interact with this guy outside of the gym, but inside the gym, we're a family, we're a community, we're a team, you know? So for me, I'm a massive supporter of boxing clubs, and it's a shame that I think they're going to lack on the funding front, and I think they're going to have major problems going forward. And I'm hoping Eddie Hearn's
actually,
letter.
Yeah.
Go on. You were going to say?
Yeah. Actually, well, our gym is we're getting actually knocked down. It's being commissioned to be made into 116 flats. So at the moment, we're actually looking for a coach. Yeah, we're looking for a new site. So we've got till about maybe to the end of the year. But I think we'll get a new site, and because we've got such a good because boxing, you're only as good as the coaches, right? We've got like 5-6 really good coaches. Lucky's the head coach. I'm assistant head coach, so we've got a really good program. You know, we like to teach the kids. It's not all about getting there, smashing, and knocking people out. We teach them the art of boxing. The name of the game is to hit and don't get hit. We teach skills. We teach dedication, and that's not just hitting the bags. It's turning up on time. Respecting your opponents, respecting the gym, respecting your coaches. And like I said, I was saying earlier, in terms of when I went to Poland, we got invited by another club who we used to spar with regularly. They invited us they go to Poland on a regular international shows. So when the opportunity came up, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely go. So I put my name in. So I took Hassan, our champion, over to Poland, and we won our first international Polish fight, and that's historic. Like I was the first coach from our gym to have an international fight. That's historic. Now, when I sit back and look at it, if I didn't leave the airport, I wouldn't have done anything. I wouldn't have done these things, So it all stimulated from that, and I almost knew what I needed to do, but I was kind of scared of not doing it. But when you take away the safety net and go for it, you'll find your way, man. If you fall over, get yourself up, dust yourself off, and start again. Because you won't stay there. Just keep pushing, and you'll get where you need to get to.
We're gonna say, Michael, with your PT stuff, do you incorporate any boxing training into any things that you do, even if it's just like the punch bags? You mix it up as well. So
no, of course. No, I've always done. For me, as I said before on the start of the pod and also pods previous, boxing changed my life. So for me, because it changed my life, it taught me discipline, helped me learn confidence and stuff like that. I add that and apply it to majority of my sessions. So most of the clients I train before the COVID, obviously, we used to do pad work, we do boxing drills, skipping, and that was always incorporated in the session. And especially for someone who's maybe like an accountant or works in a field where you're at desk, to get on a boxing pad or boxing bag or something like that, for them is a different world. But then as soon as you get them learning the drills, the combinations, their eyes pick up and they're like, wow, I like this. This is allowing me to let out my aggression, let out anger. I'm actually leaving training feeling more relaxed because of this bout in boxing or boxing pad work or something like that. So I incorporate, I'm mumbling. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in like 4 hours, journeying and stuff. But I incorporate it in training all the time. And for me, it's massive. It's massive. I need to eat every friggin' 4 hours or every 3 hours at the moment.
Is that story? Nutritionally, both of you, nutritionally, even you, Jim, because he's a specimen himself. It's nutritionally, when you're getting into training and you read all of these things like you need to eat every 3 hours, you need to do this, you need to do that. Is that a myth? Or is it all about the calorie count and you're hitting your target of calorie intake throughout the 24-hour period?
I would say it depends on the individual.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd say normally you're taught that it's every 3 hours you're supposed to eat, but each person's different. I might eat every 2 hours. Eugene might eat every 4 hours. Corin might eat every 2.5 hours. It's the individual itself. For me at the moment, because I'm going through stupid diets for the competition and training and stuff, my patterns in terms of eating is consistently changing. So sometimes I'm on point, I'm firing, and then sometimes my brain just slows and it shuts down because I've not eaten in a couple of hours. And I think now it's starting to slow down. I actually do have rice cakes to eat while we're doing the pod just to keep myself ticking.
Here we go. Get that peanut butter out.
No, no peanut butter. I'm trying to cut the peanut butter a bit. I've got to drop body fat at the moment, so
okay,
probably not.
What's a typical? Because you're teaching these guys boxing, obviously, and the art of boxing. Is it nutrition in there as well? So you are helping them along. So like, what's a typical?
I'm not. I do a little bit of nutrition. I'm not the best educator at the moment, but I'm learning. So this COVID has basically helped me get better as a coach. So I'm learning a bit more about nutrition, learning more drills. I'm just getting better as a coach as best I can behind the scenes. But in terms of nutrition, yes, we have, for example, we've got one boy, I say boy, he's a man, one of our guys, my sparring partner, Suk. He was 100, we both were 114 kilos, right? When we first started with Lucky. Suk is now 86 kilos. We used to train. I mean, like, dripping was, I mean, you wring our shirts out, sweat, but we wasn't losing any weight. So then, you only know what you don't know, right? So he's one of his friends is an actual nutritionist. So he went with his friend who just started a company at the time, and his friend got him a nutrition plan. And then Suk was coming training, and then you just see him chopping and changing. I'm like, bloody hell, like you're 100 kilos. Then he was 95, then he was like 80. I was like, bloody hell. So nutrition is key. Even for me, being plant-based, when I stopped eating meat, that helped a lot for me to drop weight.
Yeah.
I was like I said, I was almost 18 stone, and then I dropped down to like 15 and a half, 16 stone. That was just training and just not eating meat. So the meat helped me just be big. And when I stopped eating the meat, I was thinking, oh, I'm getting a bit skinny and stuff. So I started training. But I found I was just as strong doing weights and eating what I was eating. But sometimes I would eat like once a day. And my nutrition was never, I was always used to eat whatever. But then I'm currently training now, so I'm on a plan. But I've got a coach as well. So I think coaches need coaches anyway.
Of course,
I've got a coach, and he's got
for
me.
all the competitions I do and stuff like that, I have to get a coach, which is quite weird.
Yeah, for sure.
And for the last competition I did, which I'm not going to knock the coach, but his screw him. But his nutrition front wasn't where it should have been. So I've done separate nutrition courses. I did a precision nutrition, really good course to do.
Yeah.
It took me 6 to 7 months, but it goes through cells and then links it to nutrition and how that's going to help your body to perform better. And I got him to do me a plan. As for these competitions, you have to get a plan. It's a 12-week or 16-week plan, and it's about reducing your calories whilst manipulating your nutrition is one of the most important things going. And I've always said that I would always say it's 70% nutrition, 30% training, which is, I know that's a massive statement, but I know if you eat the way you're supposed to and you do some activity, you'll lose weight. But if you kind of roll reverse, your weight will probably stagnate or it probably increase over time rather than the reverse.
I would say it's higher. I would say like 80-85%. Nutrition is so important. A lot of my clients, I train them and I give them the little bit of advice that I know, and I show them myself because you're as a PT, you're a living example of what you do. And I say, look, I used to be this big, and so used to eat a whole bunch of meat and all sort of. I don't encourage my clients to stop eating meat. I just let them know what I do. And since I became vegan, I'm just as strong. I'm leaner. I didn't see my abs. I'm 36. I saw my abs last year. 30, 35. I was like, what? And I played football and I've done boxing, and I only saw my abs like last year, and I couldn't believe it. But that's because I had a proper nutrition plan in place. And now once you start understanding how to eat correctly, then you just do better. But when I used to think, I'm vegan, because I'm not eating meat, I eat whatever. End up eating a bag of chips, crisps, because they're vegan, they're potatoes, but it's not the best form of carbohydrates. It's not the best form of protein to eat a whole bunch of Linda McCartney burgers, even though they're very nice. But you know what I mean? Like, there's other ways to get your protein in. If you
protein. Yeah, 100%.
What's a typical meal for sustenance if you're training hard? like from the vegan side, because again, that's something whereby one of my pals has said to me that he's gone vegan a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I just can't comprehend it, because I've not looked into it. I try and think to myself, to be able to have the energy to go and train, I have to eat meat.
Yeah.
But that's kind of ingrained into me from the way that I've been brought up, the way that I've grown up. So when you're preparing your food, like what are the types of things that you're eating now?
Right, at the moment, because I can give you a step by step, an exact meal. At this moment, I'm on plan. So my plan is very basic, but it's very effective. So in the morning, porridge and with a scoop of vegan Raw Sport vegan protein powder.
Yeah.
Bananas, blueberries. Before I was training, that was my breakfast anyway. It was either porridge, a bunch of fruits, or smoothie. That's basically my breakfasts. But at the moment, I'm eating oats for breakfast. I'm on like six, 7 meals a day at the moment. So my first meal is sweet potato. I'm eating corn mince at the moment, and spinach. So my sweet potato, I'm having like 350 grams of sweet potato, 85 grams of corn. I'm having the same foods, exactly that, 6-7 times a day.
Wow.
That's it.
All prep.
Sounds like you're on prep for a competition.
I still say I'm training. I'm actually training right now. So at the moment, that's what it is. But
yeah, it's prep.
So let's say it wasn't the prep. Normally, for me, breakfast, oats. It'd be oats with I always have my oats with water. I don't have them. I've stopped drinking milk way before I became vegan anyway. Yeah. So I'll have my oats. It either be oats, fruits, or smoothie. That will be my 3 breakfasts. Yeah, that's my choice. For lunch, I would normally have chickpea curry with some quinoa, with some veg, or a jacket potato with some beans, or I would have sweet potatoes with mushroom. No, sorry, I'll have mushrooms. Sorry, in the mornings as well. Sorry, I forgot about that. Mushrooms, avocado with some onions on toast. Oh, mate, that is nice. So I like a bit of mushrooms. I like a bit of that. So that's what I'm saying. So it's a bit of a mix. So tofu. I tried tofu. I didn't really like the tofu. But yeah, so mainly chickpeas, lentils. If you're well, obviously in Slough, there's a big Asian community, so there's a lot of vegetarian Asian options. So I used to have dal, which is just lentils, man. Lentils, veg samosas every now and again. So there's always options. But I didn't eat loads and loads. So my diet wasn't, I might have a big lunch and probably wouldn't eat again in the evening, you know, vegetable soups, things like that. So there's loads of stuff. And when I first became vegan, so it's been like, I say vegan, I'm plant-based majority, 95% of the time. Vegan is a bit, you know, they don't have no leather, no animal, nothing. Like I'm not super crazy, like strict. I'm a plant-based 95% of the time. So when I first started, there wasn't much options, but now there's a very good place called, there's loads of vegan restaurants, right? There's one place called Eat of Eden, is in Brixton, Caribbean vegan food. Believe me, guys, if you ever get a chance, go and check that out. It's so good. They got one in Brixton. They got one
if we get a chance, mate.
Well, yeah. So they got one in Brixton.
Closed down by then, I tell you, closed down.
They got one in Brixton. They got one in Clapham, and they just opened one in Shepherd's Bush, which I was so happy about, because I used to always, I'm telling you, I used to drive to Brixton all the time, and every time I go to Brixton, I'll go and get a big, massive platter. It's all good food, man. Sweet potato curry, chickpea, callaloo, lentils. I'm telling you, macaroni pie, which is not macaroni cheese, macaroni pie. Oh man, I took my boy down there. He loved it. Like, you know, my son absolutely loved the place.
Oh,
so there's so many more options now.
Still hungry, yeah? We're all sitting there now like that.
Shepherd's Bush is down the road. I'm sitting there going, boy, I'm not
What I'll do one day, like after, you know, one day once this is all over, I'll get you lot down there. I'm telling you, you'll eat the food and you'll be so full, and the flavors are, and the good thing with that kind of food, it goes in and it goes out. It doesn't stagnate in your system. When you're eating meat, it just stays in your system for a while, for a couple of days, 2, 3. This stuff literally goes in, gets all the nutrients out, and it comes out literally the next day or even the same day. It's
I think we definitely need to, the 3 of us, come down to the boxing gym to have a look.
Man. Not to have a look, to have a session.
Well, yeah, no, that's what.
What
have a session. You want me to bring my stuff with me? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Right. Eugene's
quiet. He's been quiet. You as well, Eugene. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Corin, what's the plan after this? To say, what's the 5-year plan? What's happening? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, now we're talking. So for me, the next, I did have a 10-year plan, and then I condensed it because I went to my local area. I went for a ride in the summer when we were allowed out and a little bit free. I went to the local high street, and I'm telling you, man, I was on my bike. I spun my bike home, and I wrote down all the things I have written down to be done in 10 years. I said I've got to condense it into 5 because I can't do this. This area is just doom and gloom. The same kind of feelings I was getting at the airport, I was getting about my area. I was like, you know what, I can't be like this. So for me, long term, I want to have my own boxing facility, boxing gym / yoga retreat. But I don't want to have it here. I want to have it back home. I want to have it in Antigua.
Nice.
So that's the ultimate. I want to have. That's my end goal. But how I get there, you reverse engineer. So I want to be able to take this fitness business that I got to as big as I can possibly take it. Have create my own champions, put on shows. Obviously, working with my coach with our gym. But personal training, just help people transform their lives through boxing, through nutrition, through fitness. I want to be able to just buy properties and just have my kids okay. I don't want to be repeating generational cycles that have happened before. I want to be like the circuit breaker, if that makes sense. I want to start my own circle, I'll be the catalyst of change of my own family. So I want to put my kids in a position to do whatever they want to do. I don't want them, if they don't want to have to work, they don't want to have to work, but not in terms of going to work for someone. I'd rather them have their own thing, But for me, I have to take the hit now so they're in a position to be to do what they want to do. Because if my kids are 35, 40 years old talking like I'm talking, then I failed them, I think. So I need to put them in a position where they're 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, Dad, I don't want to do this, but I want to go travel the world, or I want to go and open a business. Okay, cool. You've got a nest egg here because I've helped do something for you, So for me, like I said, just forward progression, long term, have my own retreat in Antigua. Professional, amateurs, novices, people just want to come and get away from the busy, stressful life of England. Just be a positive guy, man. Just try and give positivity to people. Try and help others where I can. I'm working with Brownie at the moment. We're trying to set up our little charity / social enterprise group. So I'm just trying to, I just want to give back, man. I want to give back as best I can, and but I want to do it through like fitness, because if you can encourage people to be fit and encourage people to get involved in team building, these are the kind of things that Johnny would know with football. How many people you got friends for life in football? From from dressing rooms and all that kind of stuff. The camaraderie of just being a sportsman, that kind of stuff. So I want to build that kind of relationships with people and just develop community spirit and all that kind of good stuff, But it's not easy, because not everybody is going to see it from your view. So I just going to try and do what I can step by step, and we'll see where it takes me. But I'm just going to keep pushing forward. I'm not going backwards, man. I'm not going. If you see me in the airport, mate, something's gone wrong. If you go on a holiday, and you see me in the airport, mate, just take me out. Take me with you.
Unless you're getting a vaccination, you're not going to any airport anyway, bro.
I know, boy. Mate, I tell you.
You have to get to Antigua, bro. You're going to have to get that jab. Literally.
Mate, I tell you, I'm going to have to smuggle myself in a boat or something, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, my days. But yeah, you touched on it there, but like I said, you're a very community orientated guy. Yeah. And I think because we've got a WhatsApp group with a number of our peers in it, and we all try and help each other. But I mean, outside of this COVID thing, because it's kind of taken over, because I was explaining to you earlier that I need to take a step back from that myself as well, because sometimes it becomes all consuming and you get distracted from stuff. So I think this is a great period of time for people to digest information, learn something that they have not necessarily taken an interest in before. But it sparked an interest because they're sitting around thinking, what can I do? What can I do? We've got all this spare time on our hands. And I mean, some people are lucky enough and fortunate enough to still continue to be working. But if you ever want to get into boxing, if you're listening to this and you're in the local areas and what have you, I can't pick up Corin enough, because in the time, I mean, I've known you for years, bro. I mean, it's family. But in the recent times where we've been speaking an awful lot more, I find that you're a very respectable person in the community. And if anybody is in the area and they know anyone, or they want to find some direction themselves, then I recommend this guy. Go speak to Corin, get yourself down the gym. It's not all about the boxing, is it? Because obviously you do your fitness work, and I've seen some of the guys. What's your Instagram page, bro? Shout.
My Instagram is coach_big C. So that's my tag. You'll find me on there. I've got I've got me training. I've got my pictures of my classes. I've got pictures and videos of the youngsters we train. I try and post a whole bunch of stuff, like book recommendations, even like just for things for people to get into. Like I'm just getting into investing at the moment, so even things like that, try and just encourage people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. They wouldn't normally open a investment account. Give it a go. Try and learn something new. I'm actually trying to learn Swahili at the moment on my Duolingo, because I feel at some point I want to go touch the motherland at some point. I don't know when. Maybe next year, this year, who knows? But I would like to learn a native tongue. Like, I only ever known English. I don't really, know any other language. So I would like to learn a native tongue. So even I try and do things, and I try to tell people to do things that I would want to do. Or if I'm doing something, try this. Especially with the reading as well. So I last year, before this happened, I was going to start a book club. But obviously, you can't meet up anymore because it didn't work. But it's still an idea that I can possibly put into our community charity thing that we're going to do. But things like that. That way.
What book are you reading at the moment, bro?
The book I'm actually reading right now, Tony Robbins' The Money Game. The 7 Rules to Money. It's an investment book, and I'm also reading The Hurricane. Is Reuben Carter. He went jail for a murder he didn't commit, and eventually he got released. So I'm reading both of them books.
Released in recent years, didn't he?
In the 1980s.
He got released in 1980.
Something like that, 1980 something. He died. He's dead now. He died in 2014.
Oh, sorry, that might be what I'm thinking about. Okay.
Yeah. He died in 2014, but he got released in 1980 something. But he served like 20, 30 years for something he didn't commit. It's actually a film of it.
With Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. It's a good film. Really good film. I watched the film first, and then learn more about Reuben Carter afterwards.
Yeah. So I've got the book. I've got someone else written. So I'm reading that book first. Reuben Carter wrote his own book called 16 Rounds. I'm going to read that book after, and then I'm going to watch the film.
What, Michael? What are you reading at the moment, mate?
Jack Johnson.
Okay.
Wicked.
And
because I'm fascinated with the whole story. Him being the first ever black heavyweight boxer, and all the shit that the man went through. For me, it'd be good to learn more about his story and just kind of understand more, because there's not much on TV about him. It's very rare that you find good documentaries other than one, I found. But yeah, that's the book I'm reading. And also John Marley's book, the one he gave to us. That's actually a good book, man.
How far in are you on that?
45 pages in.
Liking it?
Yeah, it's decent, man. I think he was right in terms of what he said, in terms of it could be a box set or a movie. It's got an easy flow to it, and it's a good story so far. So that's not bad.
With the Jack Johnson, that was what King Kong was based on.
Was it?
Wow.
He goes to he used to go into the top suites of the hotels with a white woman, and that's what he said. He was King Kong, and he took Jane, and he was holding the woman. Look into it, man. Look into it.
Yeah, because I will do, because his stories are insane. Because some of the stuff the one way they used to give him parking tickets, and then he would give them extra money and then say, I've given you extra money because when I come back, I'm going to be speeding as well, and all the stuff like that. And then even the way he died in the end, it's all sketch.
Oh, okay, so I don't know too much. I'm gonna let me know when you finish your book and recommend it.
Yeah, no, well, it's definitely worth reading into him, or if not reading into him, watch the documentary. I think there's one on YouTube. The name's gone from me, but it's awesome. They've got famous boxers talking about how he was an inspiration for them. Mike Tyson's on there, Ali is talking, and it's interesting because for me, especially when I started boxing, we were always told learn about the boxers before. So I used to watch the marvelous. I met
him 2 times, Mr. Hagler. Yeah.
So I used to watch Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Duran. Then I'd watch Eubank, Ben. Then the whole middleweight division, the whole heavyweight division. So I used to watch all the boxing fights, the olden day fights, and we were always told that because if you learn the craft from those guys, you can then apply it in your fights, the way you train, the way you kind of approach training. So that's kind of, I went on tangent there.
No. Boxing, isn't it? I think Eugene, mate, what are you reading, bro?
To be honest, I don't really read like a lot, but I know. No, but
what you say?
No, but I just remember the last thing that I read is I don't know if you're all into science and stuff. I was reading Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah.
Astrophysics in a Hurry. That's a good little
What? Sorry, you just said you're not into reading, then you pulled out.
Sounds deep.
Come on, man.
That's the last thing because that's the last thing I read. That's the last thing I read, and then like I was like, that was like a year ago. So I was like, don't want to read no more. But but that was a good one.
Audible.
Like,
I'm not a big reader either, mate. But Audible, I consume an awful lot of Audible because I drive around the country an awful lot. With work, I listen to that. But where I'm not going anywhere at the minute because I'm working from home, I just listen to my stuff in the evening. But I'm listening to Ready Player 2 at the moment, if you know what that is. But that's fascinating. I'll just poke myself in the eye, so forgive me. But that's fascinating, the concept behind that. But yeah, it's just interesting because I think, again, when you've got these guys in your care, it's to show them a reflection of yourself, to be able to push good habits on them as well. So it's kind of like I wish I had something like that when I was growing up, whereby someone maybe pointed me in the right direction. I've had to find an awful lot of stuff by myself. So to have people like you in the community, I think it's amazing. I
have these conversations with our young guys. I say to them, so look, when I was 13, 14, I can fight. I've always been able to fight, right? So in terms of, I say to them, if I took up, because I used to be a big footballer, right? So football, if I would have took up boxing instead of football, with the mountains, I used to have loads of fights. I was pretty good with my hands. I probably could have done, I don't know about having a great career, but I could have done a lot more in terms of fights. I could have had a lot more fights. So I say to them, don't waste your opportunities. Like, you're young, you got the youth now, but you're not always going to have it. So just squeeze everything you can out of it, and who knows what happens. And we told that to our boy Hassan, and he's the first champion. So now he's like, but he's a champion, and he comes to the gym, but he trains like he hasn't won anything. So that gives the kids, well, if he can train like that after he's won a championship, I can train as well. I've got to put it in. I gave him, when I was in Poland, I gave him the Art of War, the book Art of War.
Yep.
My Sun Tzu, and I say, look, man, read these kind of books. These are the books they read in boardrooms. Fighters read them. People read them, because what you can learn from them, you can take these and put into your life. You can take it in the ring, or you can take it in your life. So, I do try and encourage the youngsters to try and improve in all areas, not just boxing, but outside, read more, learn, look at great leaders and take some of their ideals and put them into your daily life and daily routines. So I try my best, but like I said, you can't force anyone to do anything. You can just try and
but I mean, they're there anyway, aren't they? So they're obviously wanting to make a change because they're already there or something out of it. But just with you and Michael, what both of you, question for you, What upcoming fights are there? What are you looking forward to?
I'm fighting Boris.
Fighting Boris.
Boris.
It's not Boris's fault.
Me and Boris are having it, mate.
It's not Boris's fault.
For me, if I'm being truly honest, and I even read this on paper, boxing is my sport. I love boxing. However, as I've got older, I've drifted from boxing, and I've drifted from boxing because there's too much chat. There's too much. How much money you're going to bring to the fight? Who's your promoter? Who's this? Rather than, I'm number one, you're number two. I want your belt. I want to fight. And a prime example is the Tyson Fury AJ situation. Yeah. I heard just this morning on the news, not on the news, but boxing news, that potentially it might be Wilder versus Fury. I'm sitting there going,
it might be. Only because, I know. For me, he lost both fights, but
of course he did.
It's contractual, right? So it's in the contract. So if I think they've taken it to a court, so potentially it could happen, but I don't think it will. But potentially it can. But the same thing will happen. Tyson Fury will beat him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in terms of big fights.
For me, he's a poor fighter. Wilder's nothing special, and he's never been anything special. And I think he's been very fortunate to have a career which has been well managed. If you look at his record, because I like records, I'm a record person. You look at his record, he fought no one. Yeah, he's fought no one. Same with even Tyson Fury is another one. His record, fought no one. Mine is 2 fights.
Okay.
Yeah? 2 fights.
Okay.
When you say, I mean, what about Klitschko? Because I suppose that's at the end of Klitschko's career, right? You're going to tell me?
Did you watch the fight?
I watched the fight, yeah.
Did you watch the fight from start to finish, yeah?
He's talking about the Klitschko fight with Fury, yeah?
That's one of the worst fights.
Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight boxer. End of. That's it. Nobody wants to give it to him. I will give it to him. He's the best heavyweight boxer, and he will beat them all. Yes, that includes Anthony Joshua. That's it. Anthony Joshua is a great fighter. Anthony Joshua could beat Tyson Fury. He could. Yeah, he could knock him out. He could. But Tyson Fury, I think overall, he's just better at everything overall, and that edges it for me.
I was going to say, the way I see it is like Mayweather is the equivalent of Fury at heavyweight, because he's such a great boxer. Yeah. And because he brings with it the size that he's got as well, it's just difficult to try and stop the man, because he's got so much boxing technical skill, and he's massive. Like, what 7'1"? What? I don't know.
6'9", 7 foot, bruv. He's a big boy. He's like 19 stone. You know, he knows the tricks. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how to feint. He knows how to use his footwork. He knows how to get into your head. And you know, he's a gypsy man. So he's born and raised fighting, man. That's what they do. Like, he's a traveler. And you know, the only way to beat him, like Brendan Ingle said, is to pin him to the canvas. Wilder tried that, and then he got up. That was it. So he took his best shot, and he got up, and then he said, okay, and the next round, and even in that round, he came back and gave him some, and in the rematch, he absolutely annihilated him. For me, like I said, I don't see any of the heavyweights beating him. Joshua could beat him, but I think only way Joshua beats him if he knocks him out, and he could do that. Yeah. But I think Tyson Fury is good enough to not get hit by that big shot. He can make it a boring, ugly fight for 12 rounds and win the fight. He could do it.
Them uppercuts AJ was pulling out the other week, though, mate.
Say again?
Those uppercuts that AJ was pulling out the other week.
Yeah, but that's if you stay there. If Tyson Fury's not going to stand there and take 10 uppercuts. He'll be like, okay, I'll take one. He'll be gone.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it because it'd be a great fight.
It would be a great fight. With the football, Corin.
Yeah.
You're Arsenal man, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Like everybody.
Come on, man.
What are we saying? Were you what? Is it the old adage, I could have been a pro if I didn't get injured? What are we talking?
Nah, to be honest, I was good. I was a goalkeeper, man. I was the best goalkeeper, I tell you. I tell you now, I was the best goalkeeper in Slough. I tell you. And then I hurt my knee. And then I couldn't. So nobody wanted to go and goal. I used to love it. I talked the most trash to the strikers. You're not scoring, blah, blah, blah. I was really good. Then I hurt my knee and I couldn't dive around. So then I became a defender. And then I hurt my knee again and I just gave up, man. I ain't played football properly for like 8-9 years. A long time, man. Long time.
Are you mobile? Can you get around or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With the boxing, it doesn't hurt. With football, if I kick a ball now, my knee just goes. I'll just stay away from it. I can't even muck about my kids sometimes because my knee just is not stable like that. But with the boxing, like with skipping and moving around, it's absolutely fine.
I mean, what's Michael? What's going on with your work, mate, with regards to Corona? Both of you. It's an open question. Just like, how is it working with restrictions?
I'm still PTing, as I said before. Business is as usual. It's the same as before the lockdown, and after the lockdown, it's the same. We just do more Zoom sessions online. I do a few outdoor stuff, but things are not too bad. I think where we're kind of there's a few elements which is not good. The gym's being closed, but then you've also got the plus side of most people are at home and they're not training. Yeah. So there's loads of people to pick into to start training. Yeah. The only problem is there's shitloads of competition. That's it.
But it's good. I was chatting to my coach. It's like a $5 billion industry. There's enough money for everyone. I'm transitioning online. I've got a couple of online clients at the moment. So I think obviously everyone's at home eating away. So when they do open up, I think our industry is going to benefit.
Oh, great.
People want to train.
The post-Christmas rush where everybody signs up to the gym.
Yeah.
When I just popped out the room there, one of my daughters just said to me, have I seen the Joe Wicks video? Have you seen it?
No, but he's killing it. Joe Wicks is killing it.
And like £9 million.
Go and have a look from this morning.
But it's funny because I've got a few friends that started off training clients around the same time he started in the same sort of kind of area. Yeah. And they said he's just a basic trainer, just was very good at kind of just getting the message across to people and building that rapport. But he's nothing special. But good on him. I'm not a hater or anything like that. Good on him. I hope he's smashing it. But that's what happens if you've got a good network, you've got people behind you who are going to push you and support you.
Go and have a look at the video from this morning.
I will do. Is it not good? Is it good?
It's funny.
I think I know.
He's taken it on the chin, but he's basically pressed record without realizing he pressed record.
Okay.
And then he's let himself go, and it was a loud and it was a long one.
No.
Go take them pants.
Live to loads of people. But I know we're all busy. We're all busy, guys. I mean, I know Michael needs to go and get his food, and Eugene and myself need to go and get our beauty sleep.
Yeah. Man, thanks a lot for letting me come onto your podcast. Sorry if I was a bit iffy in terms of like my scoring and that, but thanks for letting me come on, because when you guys are major and 10,000 episodes and that, just remember, don't forget me. Don't forget me.
No, but listen, I think we say it to all. I think Michael say it. We say it to everybody. It's kind of like I'm learning as I go. I'm learning from Michael. Yeah. I think Michael's work rate and mindset, I needed that at the time.
Yeah.
And it's really helped me. So I thank you for that, Michael, anyway. And Eugene as well, the stuff that I see that Eugene brings to the table. And these are two guys that I didn't know 2 years ago. And it's all about working with people and bringing people into your life that are going to benefit you. And I really feel that you're that kind of person, Corin. So it's kind of like it's a journey, and we might get to 10,000 episodes, but we're love to have you back on so we can see where you're.
Yeah, for sure.
Come back in, and as I said, I want to come to the gym, and don't be scared,
man. Don't be scared.
We'll see how we get on.
All right, get them burpees in, man. Get them burpees in.
Cool. What we signing off? So what is this? This is episode 12 of the podcast. I'm Mike.
Good, man.
I'm Johnny.
I'm Eugene.
Big C. Eugene.
Big C. Guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care.
Good.